Okay, I'm playing League now.
Okay.
No cure for fools.
A clever fox is never caught.
my god.
Everything finds its way to stage. Our opponents seem eager to get there quickly.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Life moves pretty quick, but never faster than me.
Minions have spawned.
Mortals can't help but chase death. Mortals, slow to learn, quick to follow. Hello,
Huh? No, this tree's from Africa. Um, bonsai tree.
Must spirits wander everywhere? Exhausting.
Mhm.
Spirit fire.
Yeah, but she was like, "Your mom said four fingers," and I was like, "Yeah, well, I wanted more than that." It was a conservative estimate so that I could see how far she went, and then I can tell her to go more. She was like, "Does she know that you're getting your hair that short?" And I was like, "Yeah, I already told you." Not that it matters, it's my hair, but
Why struggle so fiercely?
When I had my hair long too, when I was in middle school, and then I wanted to cut it, everyone just assumed my mom made me cut it.
Enemy rampage.
You can't
that's
run
kind of
against
funny.
me.
I feel like sometimes it kind of is like that, or from my experience, like it really just be the moms that are like, your hair's too long, get a haircut. Because like I don't think my brothers would ever cut their hair if my mom didn't make them. But I don't think they would have liked it long either.
Well, I would get my hair
So
cut. I would just style it in a like long.
yeah. Can your hair grow that long again? I feel like it goes up instead of down now.
Shut down.
It grows in a different direction. I mean,
Well,
I've
on
only
my
seen like two
ID,
pictures.
on my ID it was like short. That was when I cut it, and it was still long. But before I had it like below my shoulders.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know, these days I'm about being, what's it
An
called?
ally has been slain.
Um, Practical. So I want a practical hairstyle. Like I'm tired of like this long ass shit. Like sometimes I'm like, God damn, this shit is really, really like naughty, and I'm tired of like combing it and then like losing like 50%, like so many freaking, I don't know. Like I got tired of it. It wasn't that bad though. Like when I got that haircut a few months ago, I was like, I need that. Like my hair is just like
Life must be so
so like so many split ends and stuff.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I don't know.
spirits can't find their way without me.
Your hair was so long though. That must have been a big chop.
Yeah.
A good rest is the best part of the job.
An enemy is legendary.
Mortals have two choices. Follow me, or don't. Life moves pretty quick, but never faster than you.
An enemy is legendary. Kill. Ace. Your turret has been destroyed.
The forest goes on forever. It only stops when you do. Mortals can't help but chase death.
Legendary.
Slow to learn, quick to follow.
An enemy is legendary. turret has been destroyed. An enemy is legendary. Enemy is legendary.
Oh my god.
Tell me why you had to go, it may seem so hard to me. 'Cause since you're not around, babe, I can barely breathe. Tell me why you had to be my greatest remedy. Maybe that's the reason why I can't fall asleep. Damn, I'm still loving hands, I miss your dirty dance, and now I've heard you, babe. Are you ready to attack? Tell me why you had to go, it may seem so hard to me. Since you're not around, babe, I can barely breathe. Tell me why you had to be my greatest remedy. Maybe that's the reason why I can't fall asleep. Damn, I'm still loving hands, I miss your dirty pants, and now I've heard you, babe. Are you ready to attack? You will regret, oh yeah, you'll make me sick, oh yeah, you'll let me know, oh yeah, you'll love me now, don't you?
Minions have spawned. An enemy has been slain.
Tell me why you had to go, it may seem so hard to me. 'Cause since you're not around, babe, I can barely breathe. Tell me why you had to be my greatest remedy.
don't think you need a haircut yet. Your hair looks good.
Well, I just showered.
Enemy killing spree. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Enemy rampage.
Yeah. I have to pee. Oh, should I use your bathroom?
An ally has been slain.
Awesome.
Has destroyed a turret. Shut down. Has destroyed a turret. Killing spree. An enemy has been slain. Shut down. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. Double kill.
How's it going?
It's going good. I lost my first game and I demoted,
Oh shit.
but this game's going good. I finally have a real
Good.
teammate. Actually, this whole team is real. Yesterday, and this first game was just so terrible. I don't know what is wrong with my luck.
Mm. Oh, yeah. And they're all like supposed to be your rank, like or like close to your rank. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. People have bad games, and
yeah.
it's like,
But their bad games are now like your like I don't know. Their incompetence is affecting you.
yeah. But sometimes you just get unlucky and you can like go down by like 200 LP or something just from luck. But
Yeah.
I'll like go back to my rank.
Looking for learning. Not throw all that. Okay.
Yeah. Mm. I really need to get a belt. Alright. I haven't worn makeup in like 2 weeks.
Controller. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah. That's the song.
What song?
Controller. It's one of my favorite songs. Bam, bam. Controller.
I feel like a brand new person. I'm gonna start acting different. No, I'm joking.
Сегодня 18 лет,
I'm ready. Bro, I'm such a baddie. My short ass hair. Short hair baddie.
been slain.
mixed it up, can I? Because all my main clothes are over here. Yeah. You can bring stuff over there. You can ask me.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Oh yeah, I'll wear the dresses that you want me to wear.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Going to that brewery was so fun.
Huh?
Going to that brewery with Eric and Jordan and Bella was so fun.
Yeah. I love doing that type of stuff with my friends. Just hanging out, drinking a good drink, having some good conversation.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Has been slain. Has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Do they have a shoe store around there, Mom? I need to get some Converse.
Oh,
An enemy has been slain.
Alright, I'm gonna go out with my family right now.
Okay, have fun.
Thanks. Good luck. I'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
An enemy has been slain. Summoner's Rift.
Mortal lives are so fleeting.
Minions have spawned.
I'll have them chasing my tail.
Ich zähl alle Rosen, alle die du gibst. Behalte alle Rosen, weil ich alle von denen lieb. Und auch wenn ich weiß, dass es uns beide nicht mehr gibt, hoffe ich dir geht es gut, wenn du weiterziehst. Ich will dich oben sehen, ich will dich lachen sehen. Ich will, dass jeder von dem Platz, wenn du Scheine zählst. Und ich bin immer da, von hier hinten seh ich dich. Wenn ich mit mir dann nur Liebe
First blood. An ally has been slain.
Nature hears. I carry the legacy of the Like this forest, I am one. Mortal lives are so fleeting.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy rampage. Shut down. Enemy double kill. An enemy has been slain.
I'll have them chasing their tails.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy is dominating. Enemy
what drove you initially as a young person to want to spend so many decades making the kind of documentaries that you do? Because I want to be doing what I'm doing 20, 30 years when I'm your age.
I don't know, but I do know that the key is to always be excited about the story and never do something you're half-cocked about. You know what I mean? Like, you're a bit like, I've almost never worked to hire. You know, I've never been like, oh, we're developing something, we think you'd be a really good presenter for it. Like you, I've always been, not the captain of my own ship, but I've been like co-captain, and every idea that's come up has either been from me or if from someone on the team, but I felt like, yeah, that's the one. And I've always had a feeling in me, like, am I excited to go out to the prison or meet the manosphere influences?
Yeah.
Am I excited to be back
Sure.
in the West Bank? You know it when you feel it, like it's an instinct, it's a sense of excitement. And if I lost that, I'd stop.
I learned this from Feng Shui.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes kind of disavowed Chuck the Builder. Did you see that? Yeah, it's like, that's not very nice.
It's not going to lead anywhere productive or beneficial, not to the movement, not to us, not to anybody.
It's just this constant game of like, who's a Fed, who's running a PSYOP. And so there's a perception among people like Nick that a lot of these people stirring up domestic, religious, or racial divisions are like
And then I had a
Zionists.
cure tie over the messiest area of your room. That's how you use them. And I remember your dad came over one time, and he asked me what that was for, and I told him it's a cure. Because I know more about Feng Shui than he does, even though people associate it with Chinese people. And so he saw one in your room, and then he asked you what it was for, and you said you didn't know. Because at the time, I think you didn't know. Or you had forgotten because you were a teenager. And teenagers are associated with, they are preoccupied with reproduction and video games. But anyway, so then he came in the living room and he said, Carla, what's that? And I told him, and he said, and your dad there's almost never a hill your dad is going to die on. Like, he'll avoid something for like decades before something, like even if it's really bothering him,
To
right?
Summoner's Rift.
He came in, he said, in the living room where I was, he said, what's that?
Nature
And I told
here
him,
is
he's like, there's one in
Minions have spawned.
Can you remove it? And I said, oh, okay. And then I removed it. Do you know why he wanted me to remove it?
No, I don't even remember all that. I don't remember the last time you did one of those things either.
Well, we haven't had
I live
really bad, severe, messy corners. Like, you put a cure where, like, for example, that crate of stuff. I really want to go through that, sort of. Or like the garage, where all the boxes are. If I want to energetically work on that area, I could put a cure above it.
Yeah.
And it would help move the energy, and then I would like, my body would somehow either some of the strength juice or a whole bunch of cooperative elements, like ladies from the neighborhood, something would happen where I would get that done, right? For some reason I was just having that remembrance. I don't know why. That's weird.
I don't know.
I bet he won't remember either, because he don't remember stuff from that afternoon. Like, he's got I know you said that my memory is getting worse than his, but I'm convinced that he has dementia. You think that I got dementia. Is there gradations of dementia? Who has the worst memory, Mama?
I won't forget what it means
I don't know.
to feel
You
alive.
forget things that are like, I don't know. Like,
I didn't used to. Isn't that weird?
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like,
Oh, that's why it's more noticeable.
yeah,
Because I used to have a really good memory.
yeah.
But compared to your father's memory, like if I always had a bad memory my whole life, the same amount of bad memory. Your father always had the same amount of bad memory. Your father, right? But you're comparing me to myself.
I hear the wind singing.
The younger version of me, I can remember everything. Like, I was just thinking, like, a lot of those job applications, they have you
An
fill out all
enemy
these
has been
things.
slain.
A lot of times I don't even remember something from, like, 15 years ago, like, all the details.
I carry
But
the
I was
light.
going through it in my mind last night. Do you know that I remember what job I had when I was 18, 19 years old? Not only do I remember how much I made per hour, but I remember my supervisor's name. Isn't that crazy?
I guess. I don't know.
I made $5.42 an hour, and her name was Mary
Tell me
Piasecki.
it's
But if you like sometimes people remember somebody they had negative association with, but I had a positive association with her. Um, but like if you ask me who my boss was 12 years ago,
I see all that you are.
I guess I might remember. But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't remember details more recently. But I think one of my friends said that he thinks that it's because as you get older, you get closer to God, and the things you don't need to remember, you just start forgetting. I remember my kids' names, but I do think you're the same person. You know, just like what's your name is? You know how like I'll be wanting to call you Curry or when and I'm like, you know, other one Vicky. The taller, the bigger. You're the taller.
An enemy has been slain.
Taller than me, right?
I don't remember. I think I'm gonna try to go to the gym.
That's a good idea.
I already ran on the elliptical thing, but I'm trying to get 150 minutes of exercise a week.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm living my
Killing
best life.
spree.
Live with no regrets. My true nature. I should have left home years ago. A body nourished, a soul fed. Unleashed, but in control. As the seasons change, so do I.
An ally has been slain.
So many memories stir within me. Just for you. This place reminds me of home.
An enemy has
fire. I lived and live in eternity.
Rampage.
Every animal hungers for something. Will I give me I may have 9 tails, but I have unlimited
An
life.
ally has been slain. Unstoppable.
I
Oh,
won't
I
forget what
see.
it means
Yeah.
to
So when
steal
someone's
a
like
life.
really racist toward like black people who's white, doesn't have anything to say about like the deep state or something, they're seen as sort of like a.
I wonder if that's what it is. I wondered whether he actually thought it wasn't very nice. Like, he was kind of offended by that level of racial animosity. Because he just tends to not go and
I
harass
hear the wind.
people IRL.
Yeah, I think
seems
that
contradictory.
could be fear-based. You know, I can't really imagine him doing that.
But part of his camouflage as well is like, I'm okay with hanging out with black guys. So when I went to the AFPAC conference, there were a couple of black people. And there's a couple of black groypers.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. There's kind of like a manosphere crossover in like the Hebrew Israelite esoteric sense.
There's that too. I think it's more of an autistic thing.
Really.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them. Another one was just a rapper who saw Bryson Gray.
Yeah.
I think he's more about the clout.
Yeah, he was on stage back at the Stop the Steal rally in 2021, right when Gun Totin' Patriot came out, which is his biggest song. But since then, he's not a MAGA rapper anymore.
What is he now?
Just a Christian rapper who like really doesn't like the gays.
Okay.
But like, you know, the MAGA rap world has shrunk a lot. because MAGA itself is almost over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Trump got a lot of credit from some people in the rap world when he pardoned Kodak Black. Florida rappers did seem to be down with the Trump aesthetic and then by extension the politics.
Well, I think he gets a lot of love because he just like makes money and stuff. He has like gold toilets and sick ass cars.
Yeah. Ostentatious wealth.
Well, thanks so much for making the time today.
Not at all.
Really appreciate it.
Has anyone ever grabbed your questions? Just take that.
Yeah, you can check them out.
Not really. I find that a little aggressive. I've happened to me a couple of times.
Who grabbed the questions the most aggressively?
I was very early on when I was still at TV Nation. It was a thing called Bully Reunion Night, and each of the correspondents went back to meet their childhood bully. You know, you don't really have one childhood bully, but I thought of a few candidates and settled on a guy. I'll just call him David. And by a weird twist of fate, he hadn't bullied me that mercilessly. Like, he'd just give me a little bit of a hard time occasionally. But he kind of did that to a lot of people. I think, looking back, he was probably quite troubled and in pain in his own way. Anyway, in the interim, he'd become a Tibetan monk. He was living in a retreat in Scotland, which was kind of perfect, right? Because you arrive at this great location. It was like Kung Fu Panda. You're arriving in this remote area of Scotland, and they're literally all shaved heads, robes, and David was there. And he knew what the premise was, but obviously some part of him was like, and it was kind of like he was bullying me.
Yes. From it didn't serve the intended therapeutic purpose.
No, well, but it served the televisual purpose.
But it was a bit of a rooftop.
Kind of. Like, I guess it was, yeah. For a moment, I was a little fearful.
Well, thanks so much for coming and making the time.
Hey guys, also worth mentioning here, this entire podcast is available in audio-only form on our RSS feed called the Fivecast, available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and every other major podcast platform. Just type in Fivecast in all caps. You'll see a beautiful autumn forest emblazoned with our logo atop of it. Yep, that's us. So if you're a truck driver looking to not be distracted by a screen while you haul loads across this great nation, or if you can't see, check it out. Thanks. All right, back to Luke.
You're a big inspiration. It's been kind of crazy to film stuff like in around the late 2010s and up to now, and then kind of see your coverage of the same events. Oftentimes the same people around the turn of the millennium, and it's really helped me understand the time.
Yes.
Like at the U.S. Bob a lot. Yeah.
Bob Short?
Bob Brown and Bob Brown's daughter Barbara.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I've met them. Two Bobs, same vibe. Ponytail, a lot of ponytails.
Similar vibe.
A lot of bolo ties with saucers on them.
That was definitely Reverend Bob Short. Bolo tie, old man, balding. First time I met him, I should say to the people, he was a UFO contactee, I guess, but of a previous, like, we think of the Whitley Strieber 70s communion, close encounters, 70s ethos, right? That whole almond-eyed, kind of a post-apocalyptic projection of what humans would evolve into. That seems to be the template for what aliens might be. Hyper-intelligent, quasi-angelic. But previous to that, in the 50s, there were radio contactees. So the astronomy or the understanding of the physical universe was definitely a little different because their aliens were coming from Venus, and Reverend Short is part of this wave of guys who've been contacted in slightly new age, and he claims that one of them on a planet called Coldus, his name was Corton, spoke through him.
This is Central Control. This is Central Control.
What percentage of those people, I know you probably can't ballpark the exact fraction, do you think are true believers versus just sort of like profit-driven, control-freak hucksters trying to make money and influence others?
You know, that's a really interesting question, and if I'm just telling you anything, it's that binary doesn't really exist. It's more of a spectrum. In general, I'd say the profit is less than you might think. Like the idea of it being a monetary thing. People don't go to hire and join the militia to make money. They do it because usually they've lost all their money at a crisis moment, and they believe the conspiracy theories. The UFO world is slightly different because it often demands less commitment. So the barrier to entry is pretty low.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really, you just sort of, you could be a fantasist, which makes it challenging as a story because you can just be like, you're just getting in a room telling stories, and in the end it doesn't really hurt anyone. Does it really matter? And with Reverend Short, it was a little of both. I think he was in recovery for alcohol. I remember being struck though because one of the things I did was having done Weird Weekends and some others, and then having got burned out on TV, I decided to go back and meet them again. Like there was a part of it that I thought, I don't know if I was
Like
part of
this
this sort of
forest.
the process of TV making, which doesn't always get you to the truth because you're in some ways trying to create a journey and a moment and a TV show. You know, it's not a pure, very pure, perfectly pure endeavor. So I thought, if I go back without cameras, maybe I'll figure out. Like, I just felt like I hadn't figured it out. It was the premise for a book called The Call of the Weird. It was kind of a completely misjudged project. Because really, I thought there would be a lot more depth there, and in some cases there really wasn't. And with Reverend Short in particular, it was like, why do you... I just thought, how would you go around thinking that I'm a space channel and I can see the future? That was part of his belief system. And actually I've got quasi, almost messianic powers, right? This all-knowing alien deity is speaking through me. I see the whole world, like that must be like a psychosis. And I said to him, I just found the whole psychology of it very strange. And I remember so having gone back, like 5 years on, maybe more, Arizona, outside Sedona, remote area, and I went to see him. I was like, I'm going to figure this thing out. And I went on the drive, and I said, so what's it all about, Reverend Short? Like, it must be so strange. Like, do you ever think I'm crazy? Do you ever think, this isn't real? this can't possibly be real. And he goes like, no, that because then you're assailing. Then you're assailing yourself with doubts. You can't do that. You can't ever do that. And I was like, oh shit, like, he just isn't that interested in whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
You know, and that interiority of like, oh, it's good, you know, you're a con artist, or you are speaking truthfully. Some people just aren't that interested. Like that duality just doesn't figure in their thinking.
What struck me about those environments is just like the affirmational quality of the environment. It's the most affirmative place you can ever be. No matter what your experience is, no matter what you have claimed to have been abducted by an alien, anything that you can think of, if you think your dreams are prophesizing an apocalypse, people will believe you and take you seriously.
Yeah.
And in the world, everything is so practical, and everyone's always calling each other full of shit, and trying to figure out the truth and objective science behind what people are saying. And it's a comforting environment for those who have a tinge of delusion and self-importance.
Yes. What's that thing where people they dress in like in Japanese cosplay? There's a cosplay element to it. I know there's cosplay conventions where you're just going to be endorsed in whatever identity you take on, which makes it kind of funny when someone really whacked out turns up, because there is still judgment, but they have to sort of tiptoe around it a bit. Like, so with Reverend Short, I got the feeling from other channels. The famous one was a woman in Montana, I think, who channeled a 10,000-year-old caveman. Do you remember that one? That was in the 90s, I think. And Elizabeth Clare Prophet, I think she channeled, it was this idea of like, I go into a trance and, you know, it starts speaking through you. So there was a woman today that she channeled a guy called an 18th century doctor called Charles Gable. And she came quite highly recommended. I think because she did a good voice. Like a lot of it seems to be the quality of the voice. Oh no! She did this sort of fake British, like 18th century voice, like "'Tis true that the pot got," and then you're like, "I'm just starting." The way it's observed is that you sit in a hall, and the channel will be at the front of the room, and it's like sacramental or religious experience. And then people turn up with their questions. I'm starting a new business with the yoga. And we're just opening it in a couple of weeks, but we're real worried because we haven't got a lot of sign-ups. Do you have any advice? Sign-ups, not where it doth lead, but the eye of the dolphin shall awaken. And then, so they speak in this code, and so, it's called the Dolphin Yoga Facility. So the eye of the dolphin is awakening means that it's going to be successful, I think. So they take away whatever meaning they need, which I like theater, I like improv, performance. I was going out to lunch with a woman who channels Charles Peoples and a couple of other people, and I said, like, do you know Reverend Short? Like, he's also channeling a space alien called Corton on the planet Koldas. Do you know about him? And it was a bit like, oh. Yeah, I think some of his communications have a little interference. You know, it's like this very implied thing of like, yeah, he's kind of full of shit.
So you think even in the channeling community, which some people would all see as absurd and possibly lying, there is posers and so-called true believers.
There's a sense of needing to police the authenticity, but which is difficult because how do you police the authenticity of something that's basically is all being told?
Well, the reason that people lie so intensely in the world is because you can acquire some real social capital by throwing the biggest fit. I remember I was at a Bigfoot hunting event one time. We had like this guy named Abe Del Rio who had been hunting for the Sasquatch for like 30 years, and he had never had what's called a Class A, which is a direct sighting. He had a bunch of Class C's. He had these like tree knock audio bits.
What's a Class C?
A Class C is when you kind of like feel Bigfoot around. Like, for example, you might feel like the hairs on the back of your neck raised, and you get the sensation that someone is chasing you.
Right.
A Class B is when you hear a wood knock or a wolf whistle or something like that. A Class A is when you lay eyes on the Sasquatch. And it's known in the Sasquatch subculture, like, nobody's had a Class A. I mean, some people have had like a, well, because Sasquatch probably doesn't exist in the form that they believe. That's just my personal opinion. I don't want to inject too much of my own bias into this, but pretty much no one's had a Class A.
Yeah.
And those who have had Class A's have been on their deathbed and admitted, like, okay, that was fake. That was my buddy in a big Bigfoot suit. Yeah, the famous picture of Bigfoot.
Well, the Patterson footage, which is like the Zapruder film of Bigfootology, right, is the one where he's walking to the woods and then he turns around to the camera. Do you remember? Does he give a little wave?
Someone involved in that footage had a deathbed confession where they were like about to die and their daughter was like, is there anything else you want to say? He's like, yeah, the Bigfoot footage was bullshit.
Really?
So Abe Del Rio is out there with these like new young recruits who are like, you know, fresh kind of green, like young Bigfoot hunters. And this guy Dylan, it was his first Bigfoot hunt, right? He's like, I gotta go check the place. So he runs off to pee in the woods and he comes back. I just saw him. And everybody just turned on him. And they were like, no, you didn't. They're like, we have been, you know, we have been looking for Bigfoot our whole life. We just
And he maybe he did it.
the world will never know.
I nearly did cryptozoology. Those stories that rely so heavily on faith, and like I say, like early on my barometer, because I was looking first of all at segments at TV Nation, but then later on I was trying to do 50 minutes of TV for weird weekends, and I realized like you can't just be going around kind of meeting one loon after another. It's going to get very old, and it'll seem cheap. And it might be funny for a bit, but after a while, I mean, there's ones that verged on it, like the UFO one kind of verged on it.
Yeah.
But I sort of needed that little bit of, stakes. You just needed some sense of, what are the stakes here? Like, have they upended their life? Have they risked, like, to go into the porn world? Have they risked the embarrassment of their family or the exposure that you get from, the self-exposure from using your sex life as your, across the board. But many times people do like, why don't you think of Canandaigua? Similar, very different. Do you know about Canandaigua? No. As I recall, and you need to check, it was a town in upstate New York that was completely made up of spirit mediums, and they would get round like, I'm feeling something, like in The Conjuring or something like it. And it felt irresistible. Like, oh wow, there's a whole town and they're talking to the dead. But then you're like, it's just guys sitting in a circle making things up with no accountability. Unless they're claiming to cure cancer, right? And then you've got to I don't mean to sound really crass.
No, it's okay. It's an unregulated platform.
But it's the idea of, if the state, if healers are pretending to cure cancer, then you're like, that's pretty messed up. And that is high stakes because you have stakes money and then the people are dying.
Yeah.
But for the most part, get away from those kinds of stories. Crypto, same thing.
2 years ago, I officially committed to stopping all my cryptozoology coverage.
Had you done quite a bit?
I had done a bit, and I always I felt like Richard Dawkins at the Vatican every time I would go to a crypto conference. You know what I mean? Because people knew that I didn't believe in Bigfoot because I had made a couple satirical videos about cryptozoological phenomenon, and they kind of just saw me, and I was just like this big science buster, anecdote buster. And then I went to one conference in Pennsylvania, and kind of bombed the Q&A by saying, like, you guys say you've seen Bigfoot. Well, I actually live with Bigfoot, and I'm seeing a Bigfoot woman named Pearl or Peach or something. So we said, okay, can we go to your compound in Ohio and visit your Bigfoot girlfriend? And we visited, and he just gave us the runaround every time we would, turn our backs. He'd say, you just missed her. Her name was Flower, actually.
Hey, Flower, you got any friends out here?
So many memories stir within me.
Hey, Flower, is anybody out here?
It just got to the point where I'm like, I'm not really documenting anything of journalistic value here. It's more just like a mosaic of people's delusions. So I stayed away from it. But anyways, back to the channeler. Have you ever encountered Daryl Anka, aka Bashar?
I don't think so.
He right now is the most popular channeler. And he says the aliens will return to Sedona next summer. And you can buy a ticket to his conference for $1,700. We got kicked out last year. I guess he thinks I'm not a true believer.
By the way, you can see this episode right now, titled Bashar's Face, on our Patreon. Represented.patreon.com/, hosted by me. We've got a good testimony. As many of you know, we're a crowdfunded news organization. You can support us with this episode. Link in the description box and pinned comment of this video. All right, back to you.
But there's this notion of like, if you don't have faith, anything that you're not seeing is because of your lack of belief.
That's sort of the Uri Geller maneuver as well. You'll know him, the spoon-bending Israeli psychic, who he was huge in the 70s. Like there was Geller mania. Like he claimed, like you get a face, and then look, if you just love it and look at it, you just feel it, and look now it's bending. You see that? Do you see that? Can you get that on the camera? Like, believe it or not, like that. In my opinion, a conjuring trick. Along with the Bermuda Triangle,
Like this
Cassius
forest.
Clay, Evil Knievel, it was like one of those pop cultural viral moments. And then the amazing Randy, the magician, turned science debunker, or rather like debunker of the paranormal.
Because you're the amazing Randy, a big beard. You expose people that bend spoons. Oh, I'm not bending spoons, jackass.
Did a whole book called The Truth About Uri Geller. The Geller maneuver was like, there's too much noise. Randy's point is like, actually, that's, for a lot of people, that contributed to his mystique. Because he's like, oh my God, well, if he was in anger, wouldn't he be able to fake it all the time? But sometimes he's just not feeling it. It's my true believer is an American.
Sounds about right.
So Randy's thing was, he had a number of things that people wanted to root for Geller. But no one's interested. Even like even I, when you mentioned the thing about I had a girl, you said a boyfriend with Bigfoot, I was thinking like, I'd be excited to go and meet, like, go to that house. You know what I mean? Like, because you think like, of course it's not true, but a little part of you is like a kid thinking, but what if there is, there's something? Or just the performance, the role. I just enjoy the role. Yeah. Is he here now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you like the campy theatrical aspect.
There's a performance. That's why I like any of those codified, performative forms, like the rap, or wrestling, or the porn industry, or even the world of the brothel, or where you take on roles and like, are we doing it now? Like, have we started? Like, can I do this? Like, what are the rules? Like, you know, and I just enjoy. I mean, I don't know if it's the silliness of it or just the strange sense of self-impersonation that you get.
Hey, what's up, guys? So in today's episode, I had the chance to sit down with legendary British documentary filmmaker Louis Theroux. Big inspiration of mine, big fantastic moment. I'm on vacation right now in Ocean City, taking it all in. It's been quite the week. Shout out to Louis Theroux. Both of us have built careers asking people questions and trying to figure out who's telling the story and why. But before I walk into any conversation, I need to be up to speed with the latest news and figure out how the heck the mainstream press is framing it. Which is why Channel 5 has been partnered with Ground News for the past 2 years. It's a dope-ass news aggregate that I use every single day. Every morning Ground News, every night Ground News, every second of every day, absorbing Ground News content. So for proof, I'm gonna pull up Ground News right here on my phone. So one of the things I love about Ground News is their blind spot feed, which lets you see which stories are being disproportionately covered by one side of the political aisle. So looking at it right now, I can see a story about 4 Iranian oil ships leaving the Philippines for the U.S. blockade. Right-leaning outlets with only 11% from the left. That's a blind spot for huge segments of the American public. And right now, we're going to see a story about this Boga Bay, preventing Ugandan LGBTQ plus activists from speaking at an Ottawa rights hearing. 70% of that is right. Talking about blind spot. Yes, Ground News. Ground News lays the whole picture out at once. Who's covering it, what angles they're hitting, what factuality ratings each outlet carries, and most importantly, what billionaires own certain publications that are pushing a certain narrative. Which, as we know, in an era of total corporate media capture, is pretty important, as Larry Ellison and his friends continue to buy up every single mainstream outlet and platform that exists. As I mentioned, I use Ground News every day, keep me informed, and I make sure everybody at the newsroom also does too. We're all on the same page. And guess what? You too can be just like me. Go to the link ground.news/channel 5, currently available in the description box and the pinned comment, or by hitting this QR code on screen right here. And if you hit that link or hit the QR code, you'll get a whopping 40% off the unlimited access Vantage plan, bringing the cost down to less than $5 a month. That, my friend, is a steal. All right, let's get back to Louis Theroux. Aesthetically and journalistically, what is your favorite brothel in Nevada?
Well, I haven't been to that many. I think I went to about 4, maybe 3 in the course of making Louis and the Brothel. And that was in 2003. It was then called the Wild Horse Resort and Spa, and now it's rebranded as the Mustang Ranch.
I feel like the pioneer spirit of the lawless West is like most alive in those towns between Reno and Salt Lake City, like Elko and Winnemucca.
And actually, you know what? I have been to Winnemucca and I've been to Elko. There's 2 or 3 in Winnemucca, I think. They're downtown.
That's why I say it's like Main Street Saloon.
Very unusual.
I went to a cow auction where there was no actual cows, but there's pictures of cows there, and there was like a bunch of guys in rancher hats like knocking each other over, bidding on these cows, and there was a brothel in the store. It was full of the cowman. It really felt like I was just transported back in time to the free frontier.
It's very cool.
And there is something
And the idea is I would try and get involved. But I was also, I mean, I wasn't intentionally awkward, but I was accidentally quite awkward. And also I think I was a beneficiary of having been picked up by Michael Moore. I've been working in magazines, and then Michael hired me on the basis of no experience and no real aptitude. I mean, he kind of taught me that time everything I knew for sure. Like the idea of like, oh, we just film everything, which now is common because, you know, digital media is cheap. But back then, it was still half-hour Sony video cassettes that you filmed on. So the idea of that, you just arrive and you film when the moment you arrive and say hello. The first couple I did was about millennial groups that think the world is about to end. The second one was about the Ku Klux Klan attempting to rebrand itself as a civil rights group for white people.
They failed.
Well, they did then. They're kind of more successful now. They dropped Ku Klux Klan and then became digital influencers. And so you film everything. You film all, and the comedy isn't like, oh, I'm going to say something hilarious. It's just the weird process of negotiation, social negotiation that goes on of oh, can we go over here now? I don't want you filming over there. I remember it was on NBC, the show, right? And Michael thought, okay, this guy's pretty funny. I was vouched for by a couple of his writers. I'd been working on a magazine in New York. That was why I had some track record of print journalism. And my friends were like, you know, yeah, Louis kind of funny and it's going to be on the BBC. So Michael, he'd be a good hire for you and you can just send him off. And I did the interview. Michael sent me off to do the first segment. It was about, like I said, millennial groups. I thought it was amazing. Others disagreed. Like, we edited it and some people were like, yeah, this is great. But then I remember the NBC commissioner came along and he was like, this is, I only heard it by anecdote, but evidently they saw that segment and like, this is fucking shit.
Really?
Who's this British guy? Yeah, who's this fucking British asshole? They didn't say that, but that was the vibe. But luckily, based on the buzz in the office, like from Michael and the team, like, no, Louis, great. They'd already sent me to do the Ku Klux Klan one. So in the Klan one, I'm interviewing these guys. One from Michael Lowe in Texas. He goes, hey, yeah, come on in. And he made this mistake of, he's like, we don't discriminate. And I said, so you just like white people a bit more? Yes, sir. We don't hate anybody. That's wrong. Yeah. We just love white people. But he left various bits of like merchandise and accoutrements, like paraphernalia lying out. And one of them was like, Ku Klux Klan for the discriminating shopper. And I was like, well, why does it say, you say you don't discriminate? No, sir, we do not discriminate. But why does it say for the discriminating shopper, and discriminating is in red?
For the discriminating individual.
Yeah.
Shop is catchy.
Yeah. But that is that because you discriminate?
No, we do not discriminate. No, sir.
It's not a pun there.
No, of
A
course not.
slight one.
Maybe just like
A little one.
That is one of our T-shirts design.
Oh, that's just something they did just look like that. So then we go into another bit, and he's got these Klan figurines giving Nazi salutes. You go, we don't believe in Nazis. No, sir. I'm like, but why is he doing like a Nazi salute? That's not a Nazi salute, so that's a right arm.
This is one of the Klan figurines that we sell.
Why is he sticking his arm in the air like that?
It is a salute. You know, a lot of times the media they'll think that it's a Nazi salute.
It looks a little bit like a Nazi salute.
Yes, but it is a right-hand salute. He
said sir all the time. That was one of my first exposures to Southern politeness being almost like a distancing strategy. Yeah. A bit like, I'm going to be so polite, it's going to be actually unfriendly. No, sir, that's a Roman right arm salute, sir. That's nothing to do with Nazis. I go, but why is he doing it with his left arm? Oh, they made him wrong. They made him wrong. And then we laughed because it was so awkward. My point is just that it was the strangeness of those tiny moments of awkward social interaction that made it funny. And that led me to getting hired.
People don't know this, but I actually developed one of my interview techniques from watching you, which you don't say this is your thing, but I've called it on many occasions the toddler nod. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes when a kid's listening to you, but they don't know what to say, they'll go like this. So you're giving people just enough to keep going, but not being so affirmational where they think that you're kind of pulling a fast one on them. And within that silence, they occupy it and they give you the best quote that you're looking for because you've given them the space to talk. Was that always something that you had developed, or was there a particular moment where you're like, okay, this really works?
I didn't consciously develop that. I do know that I was so anxious and insecure when I got hired. You know, as a network TV correspondent on NBC, 23 years old, my main reaction when I got the call from Michael's producer saying like, we want you to jump on a plane like this afternoon and go out to Oakland and interview Harold Camping. He was the first one who thinks the world's ending later this year. I remember thinking like, oh, fuck no. Like I was terrified. Yeah. And I just thought, I can't do this. Like I don't know how to make TV. I don't know how to do an interview in a live setting. Like I'm gonna get my questions. There'll be a bunch of people, like actual professional camera guy, sound person, producer, assistant producer all around me, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And I was kind of afraid of being exposed. Like, I didn't feel like, I knew these guys were barking up the wrong tree, like ideologically. I'm obviously not religious. I don't think the world's about to end in October, but I also didn't think like I was able to mount a particularly robust defense of like rational values or whatever. I just so badly wanted it to go okay and for the contributors to like me. So mainly, I think I was acting out of fear, and that the contributors in turn, the contributors is just the term for like the people I was interviewing, would open up and then almost felt a bit sorry for me, I think. Because they're kind of nervous as well. Yeah. And they're like, oh, this British dipshit doesn't have a clue, right?
So that nod was coming from genuine terror and anxiety.
The nod was coming from maybe like, I don't know what to say, or possibly I'm just allowing the moment to settle. Because what I wasn't interested in was what I had to say about anything. And I didn't think my questions particularly powerful or amusing. Our interviews were so long. Like we would do like 2, 3, 4 hours. So they might have just found the bits that were resonant.
It could be a matter of having like a healthy ego too, like, you know, not thinking that your personal anecdote needs to be imposed on some random person and being willing to learn. Like when I first started, I wanted to learn about other people and have the platform to be like a way, the show to be a way for the public to understand new people, not for me to show how much I know about them or to show them how much I know about random shit they don't even care about.
For sure.
So I'm curious, like, if you ever read a book called The Journalist and the Murderer by Janet Malcolm, and it's such a great book. I don't know what you think about it, but
it's an amazing book. We've mentioned that a few times on my own podcast. It's one of those ones where, yeah, you come back to it. Well, you should talk about what it is.
Well, it kind of just explains a relationship between a journalist and a convicted murderer. And throughout the process of, I guess, getting source material and interviews with the murderer, the journalist befriends the murderer.
Specifically, Joe McGinnis, who wrote Fatal Vision, a very, very long, and actually kind of amazing if you've read that account of Jeffrey McDonald being convicted of the murder of his family.
Yeah.
His 3 children, I think, and wife, or maybe his 2 children and wife who was pregnant at the time. In the course of being recruited by the McDonald team, Joe McGinnis starts to think, actually, I think, they think he's going to write a sympathetic account from the point of view of the defense, and then Joe McGinnis decides, actually, I think this guy probably did do it, and then writes the book from that point of view. So it's kind of the ultimate case of what's viewed as a sort of journalistic, seducing betray journalism.
Yeah, because then the murderer is suing the journalist for operating under false pretenses, saying, oh, you were too affirmational with me, you were too agreeable, you manipulated me into telling my side of the story, not knowing that, you know, you would use my words against me in what's called the post-production process.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with this so many times, so I was wondering, when it comes to you holding space for your interviewees, where do you navigate that space between active listening and deception, especially when you're interviewing someone that you fundamentally do disagree with or don't think?
Just one thing on that quickly. Jeffrey McDonald, I think, is still alive and still in prison, and there are people who think he didn't do it. And Errol Morris, the documentary maker, I think, did a whole documentary showing how, and I wrote a book too that Jeffrey McDonald probably didn't do it. It's maybe not as awkward as you might think it would be. Like most of the time, especially as I go on, because I have a track record of making programs, people know what they're in for when I make a film with them. And also specifically, I think it's slightly less of an issue than TV, certainly the kind of TV I make, versus a book. In a book, so much of what you have to do is kind of be the camera for your reading audience. Everything has to be characterized by, you know, whether it's, you know, just words like adjectives or and scene setting. I use minimal voiceover in my program. I try to let the scenes speak for themselves. And most of the time when people see themselves speaking on camera, they're like, yeah, I did say that. And actually, if you're talking about, like, I did a whole program about neo-Nazis. It was called Louis and the Nazis in 2003. And they don't think I'm a Nazi, right? They're just grateful for a kind of mainstream TV program to be covering them, actually. I think they accept that the price of admission is for me to be saying I was about to go and spend time with, you know, some of the most hateful and reviled people in America. Like, they're not like, yeah, they'd be like, yes, that's fair.
So there's a value exchange in their head where they're like, I know this guy disagrees with me, but his platform is so large that I'm willing to kind of take the piss as long as I can get out of it.
I assume that's what's in their heads.
That's also what's enabling so many hood blogs to be captured in the couple people doing it, like within the communities themselves. You had a guy named Zach TV who was killed for doing this in Chicago around the birth of the drill movement. But you didn't have what you have today, which is a budding industry of content creators going to every hood in America and producing more or less the same thing. Poverty porn was a fake sort of, did you ever want to be an astronaut thing they ask grown men, you know, when they ask who are holding guns about lost potential and, you know, cultural issues in the community or whatever. And there's a value exchange there too, where they're like, I'm gonna let people film my hood because I know that content means money and I want money, so I'm gonna allow access.
Are the vloggers from the area or
Never.
not?
But I mean, that's
And
now
how is the interviewee going to monetize the encounter?
through asking to be tagged, through the sort of figuring out how to just even
So they've
being-
all got a social media.
Everyone's got a
presence of
social
some
media
kind.
platform, and now we're in this different era where journalistic access is now at its maximum because of everyone's a content creator. But it's sort of forcing the interviewer to be collaborative with the contributor.
That's right.
But for you, you mentioned that the existence of fair reporting made it easier for you to get access. Do you feel like you had to deal with what's called the Borat problem early on in your career? And for
I
clarification,
like that. Is that like a physics problem? Is that like the Fermat theorem?
yeah, it's pretty much like that. And I had an executive producer who worked on the first Borat movie explain kind of what that problem was.
Was it Larry Charles?
It was Jonah Hill. But whenever he
Was he? I didn't know he was a producer on the Borat.
one of his first jobs was like
No way.
assistant producer for the first Borat movie. And he talks about how they wanted to make Borat 2 right after because it was so successful.
Of course.
But because the character had become so famous and associated with like mockery and like I said, taking the piss, as they say out here, they couldn't make Borat 2 for decades because they would try to film and people would either play up the character too much, you know, like my wife, this is my wife, or they'd be like, no, this guy's here to troll us. Let's not talk to him.
And they even filmed, because Borat came after the Ali G, I think it was Ali G, or maybe Borat trialed as a character on the HBO show. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So they could only do Borat in areas that didn't have premium cable. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So the areas that they filmed Borat the movie in were those were ones that had been served by HBO because they were like they hadn't been exposed to the character. So they couldn't make Borat 2. So your question is like, did I have a Borat problem?
Did you kind of, because you started off not like as a prankster, but your
No.
work has gradually gotten more serious
But there
in
was
tone.
definitely people who might have felt the tone was not entirely serious or that had a sort of agenda.
And so the question is, would that pivot toward more serious coverage a precaution you took because you didn't want your access to be limited in the future, or did you just kind of naturally
It just
mature?
it was a natural growth, and I think after a while, it was really simple in one way. There was kind of a fork in the road. It was around 2002 to 4 where I was running out of subjects. And it had been, I used to call it the tripod, that there were 3 legs that made a good subject for me. And one was participation, and one was a sense, my participation in, I could get involved. And one was the idea of it having stakes, like there was some emotional angst that it entailed. It wasn't trivial. And the third one was that it was funny. And basically I was like, maybe we forget about it. Because I'd much rather be doing stories that feel chasing funny gets old quite quick. And I did a couple of probably the less successful episodes. They're still funny, but they're the ones where you're like, yeah, but that's just kind of goofing on something that's not that weird, like the off-Broadway episode, which I could tell the idea might not be the strongest if it demanded me to get more involved. Like my participation had to be ramped up. Another one was Home Shopping Network, where the climax is me trying to sell Paper Shredder on live TV, which it's kind of amusing, but it's not wildly interesting to my mind. So it's like, well, what about if they're not that fun? And you kind of inch towards it with the brothel one, the neo-Nazis, and then we kind of went more into the funny with, I got plastic surgery for one. Again, the climax was me getting liposuction and interviewing the surgeon as he pumped the fat out of my abdomen. And it's kind of funny, but in the end, it's a little bit too normal. I hate to use that word, but it's a little bit too normal. And then we did one about a prison. Like, there's not that much on the face of it that's funny about San Quentin prison, but we got access there for basically 2 weeks. It's just like, I don't really care if it's not that funny. I just think it'll be really amazing.
I thought that was a pretty funny scene when you like approached all those Aryan Brotherhood dudes on the yard, and you were like, "Which one of you guys is in charge here?" And they were like, "I don't know, white power off."
Yeah.
And you were like, "Yo, but would you tell me if you knew who was in charge?" And they're like, "No,
White power.
They said, we're white guys.
They make a weird noise.
Yeah, what's that noise?
I don't even know.
Oh, 707, 128. Oh.
And then they had an area code where they go 713. They kept doing an area code, remember 713. And then they go, well, which gang is it? Like Barbarian Brotherhood. Which I was like, that must be bad. I googled, and they're not saying Aryan Brotherhood, right? But I did double check. Aryan Brotherhood is a legit cross many prisons, one of the most feared gangs in the US. Barbarian Brotherhood is kind of like Timu Aryan Brotherhood.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying
say that.
Aryan.
That could get me in trouble.
No, I don't think you're gonna end up in San Quentin, so you'd be okay.
No, I hope so, but then something got out. But yeah, I think they it was more like Farm League Aryan Brotherhood. Any of you in Aryan Brotherhood? No, maybe one day.
Yeah.
I love that. They recruit me.
A lot of those guys are from Coco County, which is like Antioch, Concord.
Is Coco short for something?
Yeah, I just don't know what it is. Riverside County, Coco County, like I feel like that's where a lot of those type of dudes come from. Would you rather be in San Quentin or the Miami Mega Jail?
San Quentin.
How come? Just because you get to go outside?
Well, it depends which bit of Mega Jail, because actually there's areas of Miami Mega Jail that are much less bad. We looked at main jail where they put the hard bits, like the real ingrained cases. You know the thing about distancing where you're like, how long have you been in here? I've been in here 3 years. Like 3 years? Like, but you're not convicted. No, I'm awaiting trial. Like, well, why? And you think like, you're civil rights. Like, what if that's not right? Justice delayed is justice denied.
Yeah.
Then it turns out, no, they want to be in there because they've got murder charges. And the longer they wait, the more unreliable the witnesses are, or even the possibility of some of the witnesses dying. So it's called distancing from the crime. So they're in there because they want the distance. So those guys are pretty serious. And I don't even think they'd put me in there with them, even if I'd committed a serious murder. Maybe they would. Whereas other areas of Miami jail wouldn't not as bad. San Quentin, I mean, it kind of looks amazing. I joke that it's like Hogwarts for crime. It has a kind of Harry Potter, even down to like Hufflepuff. What are the other ones?
Gryffindor is still in.
Gryffindor is like the Harry's one. So that would be like, oh, I was dealing meth, or DUI or whatever. But then
Yeah, it's even worse.
yeah.
And then Azkaban would be Alcatraz.
You're right. Good point. It's decommissioned. Is that the...
For now.
But your question was about... So, yes, there's still humor there. It's not like, oh, and what you realize is, oh, it doesn't have to be funny on the face of it. Like, the comedy, there will be humor that arises from the weirdness of just seeing me in that world. Like, I've done stories about, you know, and there was a progression. Let's see how unfunny we can get. I did one about a maximum security mental hospital for sexually violent predators called Coalinga in the Central Valley. Like, there was 800 people there, 600 of them had more than one index offense involving crimes against children. So, like, absolutely, like, even beyond Epstein in terms of like what they'd actually done, not scale, obviously, or connection to VIPs. But, so these guys are like, what did you do? Well, I was babysitting a 2-year-old, and I guess one thing led to another.
I was babysitting at the time, and I was under the influence at the time, and some touching was involved.
Yeah, we can't exactly look at the camera like Jim from The Office after that.
No, but you're like, but there's a part of you, so that's obviously horrific, but then there's a whole scene where, because it's a hospital, they're not allowed to be in prison. Sorry, they're not true. Well, that's correct, technically. They've been civilly committed for an extended period. If it could be forever. They're technically for their own health, right? They're patients. You couldn't call them inmates or anything. You couldn't even call them patients. Patients was considered slightly degrading. So you call them residents, they're individuals, and you have to refer to them as Mr. So there's Mr. Callahan. Mr. Callahan's here. He's been here for 10 years. We hope to be getting him out. He's doing really well on the phase program. There was a program, like a 12-step derived phase program. But I mention it because they are playing in jazz combos. They had like Coalinga Idol doing talent shows, and while we were filming, they were celebrating Halloween, and they all stood around singing the theme song from the Addams Family. And there is a very dark comic dimension to that.
Yeah, certainly so. So even though like it wasn't funny in the sense of the previous work, there's definitely a dark element. Of
Yeah. It's not like broad physical comedy.
Convicted pedophile Addams Family cover band.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got contacted recently by a non-offending pedophiles group who were like moving onto an island so they could stay away from kids, and they invited me to hang out with them. And I just, off principle, given the Epstein moment, had to not respond.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, well, you know, first of all, it sounds like a bad time, but journalistically stimulating.
It's interesting, like, getting out of your comfort zone is obviously part of what works.
Yeah.
You don't want to see someone too comfortable. Like, why would I want to watch that? Like, there's got to be some conflict. Like, something like collision of worldviews and values, right? And, you know, you can see someone on a porn set, and it's kind of weird and interesting, but then if you see a kind of googly, geeky, like, British guy, like, looking on as the guy struggling to get wood, there's something about that dissonance.
I like being
in the case of like pedophile, non-offending pedophile, I think it's very high risk because, I mean, I was aware of it at Coalinga, like, I got to really manage my tone. Like, I need to project the necessary sense of distance and disapproval.
Is there a general moral line where you feel like it's your responsibility to the audience when you interview to inspire you to have opinion about a certain matter?
Yes and no. Like, I think maybe the main thing I'm thinking of is for the program to work, you need to make it clear where you stand.
Beforehand or on camera?
So there's quite a few moments in the film where I said, you know, you do realize what you did is the most horrific thing people can really conceive of. And there's many people who would want to see you killed. I think that's the opening. That's the cold open.
Yeah. That's appropriate in this context.
And you sort of need to go there a few times, just so the viewers could relax and be like, okay, I'm in safe hands with this presenter. I did another one about pedophiles living in special accommodation in South LA. It was called Among the Sex Offenders. Did you ever see that one?
I saw clips of it on YouTube.
Full disclosure, there was a character we shot where he did some horrific shit and it didn't make the cut because it was just too heavy.
Are there any other notable subjects that you have removed from the cutting board and haven't published or interviewed because you felt like you didn't want to give them a life?
I think it's possible that it's not necessarily about the morality. Maybe that's obvious. Like, in St. Clinton, you talk to a guy who's like, oh, people don't know about being on a spree of breaking and entering and trying to like torturing them and burning them. And you can see him in his face, he seems, I mean, this might be a subjective judgment, but he seems quite pleased with himself. I go like, did anyone die? He goes, nobody died, but a lot of people wish they died. And you're like, wow. They're like, are you getting a thrill? I don't know, that might be wrong, but that was the sense I got. So it's not about like, oh, someone could be a sadist and do a bunch of horrific things, but you could include it. I think part of it is that you need to feel some level, and it's going to sound weird, but some level of chemistry, or just some sort of sense of like, oh, there's something about this guy I feel intrigued by. Like, if it's just flat out there, it just feels dark. You know, there's a little bit of charisma there. Although it's a weird way of putting it. But the question about platform, or if they are attempting to broadcast some disinformation, misinformation, again, it just needs to feel like the level of accountability is there. Like, I need to do more of the job to hold them to account. And that also varies with how powerful they are. Like Reverend Robert Short saying that is factually incorrect. Because no one is gonna, I mean, one or two people might have seen that and be like, that guy, he knows his shit. I'm gonna go out there and pay him some money. But most, you know, tens of millions would not think that. But if it was someone like Alex Jones, there would be more responsibility there to challenge and to disrupt the narrative.
Yeah, I think that back in 2017, what some people call woke War 1, or just woke 1, woke 2 being 2020.
Like, I've never heard that. They would call it, or the reckoning 1, or the reckoning 2.
Well, woke 1 and woke 2 are quite different. But woke 1 was big on
Is that your term?
I've seen it on Twitter, and I just know what people are talking about.
Because they call 2020 the reckoning, right? Have you ever heard that?
I thought it was the storm. There's a few things to call 2020. I call it Fahrenheit 2020, hell year, or I call it year 1. But there's, Anyways, there is this whole idea of platforming problematic ideology to somehow signal boost the spread of harmful rhetoric and that would make people more powerful.
This is 2017 was the Me Too, but 2014 was Ferguson.
I guess I mean when Trump got
Which woke war was that?
Okay, I'm talking about the post-Trump election woke war, where it was like, okay, Trump's in power now, time to get serious. It's not time for jokes. We have to combat the rise of this kind of comedy by any means necessary.
Okay.
And I think now we can look back and see that those efforts were a failure. Because while it was true that you were able to push certain subcultures underground for a certain period of time on alternative platforms like Rumble, Parler, and Gab, boom, the backlash is like Elon Musk buys Twitter, and these same people who were doing big numbers underground are now absolutely dominating you. Like, whatever was pushed down back during one is now up in the post-war era.
Interesting. I talked to John Ronson about some of this. You know, he's a documentary maker and writer who spent time with Alex Jones way back, like late 90s, and they went to Bohemian Grove together undercover in a kind of baptismal moment of, I guess in Alex Jones' case, maybe red pilling, kind of, or turbo red pilling, and then with Ronson it was this other exposure to, well, he turned it into a best-selling book called Them. When he was being trolled by Alex Jones followers, and then Jones was completely deplatformed, I guess 2017.
Yeah.
Like all the harassment and shit he would get went way down. Like he was like, they kind of turned the spigot off. I guess the question with turning the spigot off is,
Well, now, as I kind of mentioned during like our previous podcast, is that for me, especially post-Epstein files drop, and even in their redacted form, it's almost impossible to talk about conspiracy theories in the same way that we did before. Because we now know that amongst, all the stuff that wasn't true, like chemtrails, Pizzagate, Flat Earth, all these kind of like new age apocalyptic woo stuff that was really popular around the pandemic and beforehand, all of that was kind of sprinkled over top of the Epstein reality to make everything seem really stupid. And I even think some of these people may have been compromised in some way by the government. I think that they were algorithmically promoting ridiculous conspiracies to create a sort of like disinformation watchdog campaign on the left and then create useless rabbit holes on the right for people to jump down.
Do you think that that's on purpose, that this is like some sort of grand design to get us to be desensitized to the idea of demons eating babies?
Yeah, for sure. Geometria calculated. QAnon drops. But now it appears that most conspiracy theories that hatched during World War II were actually a psyop by the Epstein class to kind of obscure the messaging ahead of the anticipated Epstein files. So I'm super careful when I talk about Alex Jones and stuff because it does feel to me like old news, especially because we don't know what's true now. And I feel like I want to suspend conspiracy judgments until the files have been totally unredacted. Maybe I'm tinfoil hat now, but that's just how I look at things.
My thinking is very normal, but what I do see is that, this term cultural Marxism gets used a lot in Anders Breivik when he went on his killing spree in Norway. He was railing cultural Marxism, became a kind of talking point of the right, saying that it was almost like a kind of red pill rollout where, we're being brainwashed by this vanguard of do-gooders and wokerati, and actually it's all bullshit. So I wouldn't call it necessarily a conspiracy theory. It's a theory about top-down social engineering, and in a way that's just true, but you're misliking or railing against something that has, I think, a lot of good intentions behind it. In other words, the idea that, okay, we're going to act as if men and women are equal in all spheres, be they, intellectual, physical, or otherwise, emotional, their races are exactly the same in all respects. We're going to act as though the only thing we do is discrimination, and that may or may not be a wonderful template to have for social renewal. The backlash against that, which has informed so much of our current politics, has been huge. And I think we're in a strange position now of trying to figure out which bits of discourse we police and which bits we don't police, and to what extent we can allow free speech to, so-called or algorithmic regulation or algorithmic non-regulation to dictate how we think about the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it connects pretty well intellectually to the recent documentary that you put out about the manosphere, because all these conversations are pretty connected. I've always seen the rise of the manosphere around 2020 as a boomerang of what was happening as far as like the corporate appropriation of wokeness, as they say. You know, because the George Floyd movement and the protest really started as a straightforward black liberation movement. The aims were pretty straightforward. Police accountability, cops stop killing black men in America. And it had been on the heels of so many different shootings. Quickly it became something totally different. It was co-opted by, I think white suburbia, and specifically like the gentrified quarters of America, found a way to bastardize it, and then corporations got involved, and you saw a sort of like a tech
Out of a sense of like almost like social vanity, like wanting to co-opt a sense of like social virtue.
Well, for one, the tech establishment, the corporate establishment at that time was left-leaning already. But they saw a significant market value in pitching that, right? You know, you had like the Black Square Challenge, you had all these, you had celebrities in Hollywood being paid fame for money, and you had a lot of rhetoric online that was sort of extremely being directed towards the boogeyman, which was like the cisgender, straight, white American Christian which happens to be the largest and most powerful group in the United States. So especially the young people, plus isolation, I feel like really gravitated toward the manosphere stuff that was being promoted in the algorithm. And I feel like your documentary did a good job of explaining the actual industry and the economic system and risk behind the groups themselves. That's all things at the ground level. Like, you know, being told that I'm bad, I don't know just why. And these young people, I'm actually good. And then we're under attack.
I buy that. The challenge is it's tough to make a documentary that looks at lonely, alienated teenagers where they feel that left out of the conversation. And always say, like history month and stuff like that. But if you're a white kid, you feel awkward. It's hard to feel like it's obviously a subject that I kind of see in my own home. So we kind of looked at the influencer economy and the way in which grievances were being weaponized in order to just become wealthy, right? In a dream scenario, I'd love to have been able to cover more of the tech substrate, trace the lines to which platforms and what, you know, it gets a little dry. It can turn into a PBS documentary quite quickly, but, you know, which platforms are they mostly streaming on? Who's programming the algorithms? The thing is, you end up in a kind of clean office in Silicon Valley with techie guys bending over computers, you know what I mean? But yeah, absolutely, and the grassroots part of it is valid too. We wanted to shoot more with the two kids on the beach. I say kids, they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
Who you see as sort of the bottom level of the manosphere community, because they're just, one of them I think has been homeless and they're just jogging around on the beach. They haven't got, each of them actually had his own little social media thing going on, you know, running programs on how to become millionaires or property gurus, but
hello,
Konnichiwa.
But we wanted to go back and interview them again, and they felt we were too matrix.
I said konnichiwa.
I think.
So that kind of speaks to the collapse
There you
and
go.
trust of
Attaboy.
No, dude.
Type shit, bro.
No fucking way, bro.
I want to go play with e-sluts on fucking heel sluts.
Okay, bro.
They don't like brown people.
Yeah? Well, you're not even brown, Chris. You're literally fucking Korean.
I'm too brown.
I'm fucking brown, beta.
Beta. Yeah, Chris, you can flex on the heel sluts on Overwatch. But you can play on like Stalker. It's like GM or something.
I'm gonna show them my screenshot. It's gonna be Iggy the dog.
Oh my god.
Send the screenshot to his girlfriend.
Oh,
Like,
true. That's a good idea.
That's the type of shit
Hey,
Mitchell
Chris,
would do,
you weren't
bro.
there when me and Brance got instantly smited from his girlfriend's chat.
I know you guys got banned, but
It was
I
yesterday.
don't. Oh,
It used to be my
oh, it was the
favorite
Discord that you got banned from, and then now it's the stream.
No,
No.
no, beta.
Come on, Chris. We just gotta play World TD, and we just gotta not be retarded.
Like, there has to be a trick to that game that we just don't know.
Hold on, we're back.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. My aiming hand is out of stamina.
Oz. He needs a smoke break. I am 70% done.
Yeah. Are you gonna play Apex with us, Swirl? Sal?
I'll play CS.
Oh.
I don't think I have it. I don't think I've ever played Apex.
Yeah, my supposed champ DPS never playing any other game. Sounds about right.
My favorite band.
No, I'm out of juice, bro. Too many misses, bro.
It's okay. Used to be my favorite band. Heartless, holy.
This is turbo easy.
Unfortunately, this is a DT farm map.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh. What's another banger?
It's a banger. Banger, but it's not worth anything. None of these are any of these worth anything?
Oh, I guess you can do songs comp.
I guess
you already...
this one.
Go play Uda.
Ew.
Hard
Fucking,
Rock.
are you Icky gang?
It's my favorite map.
Are you from China?
Are you a pedophile?
Yeah, are you from fucking China pedophile clan?
Go play Cry Thunder and go play
Oh
Uda
my
Hard
god.
Rock.
I mean, he's already playing fucking foreground eclipse songs comp, so.
He's a third of the way there.
How many Hard Rock FCs does this have?
A lot. Probably like White Cat. I know White Cat, Icky, probably MREC, Secret Box, fucking MCY4, fucking who else? Who else we got?
Does this have like is the whole leaderboard Hard Rock?
Hard Rock hitting, yeah. But it's a different on laser though. Cause stable, cause of the scoring. So wait, Chris, are we gonna play something on Roblox? Or are we gonna play? What are we gonna play?
Sure, I'll get off Minecraft for now. My butter died on me. My boyfriend died on me.
So should we play what?
Let me check out what that other one you were talking about is. The not World TV one. What's that called?
Oh, that one.
The other
The
one.
only thing is with that one is that I'm kind of good at it, so kind of. I almost typed exit Earth's atmosphere head ass.
When does it shit get hard? I think they take a smoke break in between every
It's
map.
it's the last one. It's storytellers, I think, or is it storytellers or is it?
Storytellers is the second to last one.
No, what's the last one?
Ooh, from Undercover.
Oh yeah.
Would you rather confess your love or have someone else confess to you?
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
care. It makes no difference to me. Neither. I don't want any of that. No.
If I keep dropping out, this is not gonna be worth anything.
Okay, I'm ready to play.
Oh wait, what the hell? My level got reset, Chris. Or not actually got reset. Oh, it did. Wait, that's actually good then, Chris. Where Chris from?
Hold on. I'm taking a Roblox test.
Stream?
No, it's okay.
Oh?
This is private.
Oh my god, dude.
Hmm.
What the fuck?
Bruh. Bruh.
Oh, fuck off. I took a what?
Chris, fucking Sal just missed on nothing.
Oh my god, I got so nervous.
Did he missed on nothing?
I got so nervous. Oh my god. Holy shit.
You might be the goat. Unfortunately, you're kind of noob.
So nervous.
We is playing Legacy Withered.
Oh.
You gonna join us? Sal, we're playing a TD.
Plus 1 fat per click.
Oh, Jordan, dude, that took years off my lifespan. I think.
Fishing tower defense.
That
Fishing
took-
tower defense? Holy.
Drop balls for baddies.
That took months or maybe years off my life. Holy shit, dude. It is not good for your heart to beat that at that BPM.
Are you beeping the same BPM as you'll be at, bro?
Yeah, probably higher. Chris, if you keep fapping, I'm gonna call the police.
I know. What was special about this tower defense again?
There's a lot of towers.
Wait, I don't have you added? Why are we playing another tower defense other than TDS?
Because TDS is locked behind the hardcore towers.
Oh, I have to restart my